Hi everybody, Jill here. I'm sure you know me from Frantic. I just wanted to share a little thought with you for today. First of all, I hope you're all keeping well and enjoying this gorgeous sunshine. I'm sure some of you are having a ball with the fact that you haven't got to go to school. I'm sure a lot of the children that I used to work with, I'm sure they feel the same way. But equally, there might be some of you who are missing your friends, missing being at school, missing all your mates. And that's okay too. And I've got to be honest, I feel a bit like that at the moment. Some of you know that I work in a school, and I'm missing some of the children that I work with, and I'm missing some of the staff as well. And it's okay, it's okay. We're in a bit of a strange situation at the moment, and to miss people is fine. Some of us also might be a little bit worried about what's going on. It's something we've never experienced. It doesn't matter whether you're year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, or a right old person like me. We've never been in this situation before, and maybe it's a little bit worrying. I just want to say to you today that God is in control of that. As a Christian, I believe that God is in control of what's going on, and He is here to help us through this situation. So we have no need to worry. God is here to help us. And there's a story in the Bible, in the book of Ruth, about, believe it or not, a lady called Ruth. And she went to live in a place far away from her family and her friends, in a place called Bethlehem. I'm sure you've all heard of Bethlehem, and I'm sure you can think straight away, oh, I know a story about Bethlehem. Well, Ruth moved to Bethlehem with her mother-in-law. There had been a food shortage, just like we have had here when the coronavirus first started. As you probably heard on the news, there was a food shortage. There was a food shortage there. But what had happened is God had sorted that situation out. And so because of that, Ruth moved to Bethlehem with her mother-in-law. And as I say, she moved away from her friends, she moved away from her family, and I'm sure she feels exactly like sometimes we might feel, a little bit isolated, a bit lonely. Of course, they didn't have mobile phones. There was no picking up a mobile phone back in those days. She would have been probably a bit lonely. But the good news is that again, God was in control, and God had everything sorted. He found them somewhere to live, and then the next most important thing, they had to have plenty of food. And that's exactly what God supplied. What God did was there was a big field near where Ruth lived, and it was a field where there was wheat and barley and grain. And back in those days, there wasn't these combine harvesters where everything was done automatically. It was all done by hand. People picked and picked and picked all the grain and barley. And the owner of the field, a man named Boaz, allowed Ruth to do just that. And so she was able to pick plenty of wheat and grain so that she could feed her family, Naomi. Not only did this happen, but Boaz also encouraged her and said to some of his workers, make sure Ruth has plenty to eat. In the end, love bloomed and Ruth married Boaz. And so Boaz was able to support her and to look after her for the rest of her days. They had a family, and everything turned out very lovely in the end. And that was God in control. So although Ruth was worried about what the future would bring, God had everything in control. And He does that now. He's in control now. He's giving us this beautiful sunny day. I'm sitting in my garden at the moment. A beautiful sunny day He's giving us. And He is supplying us with food. Whether we're going to Tesco's or my sister is delivering food to people from her church, and I'm sure some of you are aware that the British Church, which runs Frantic, they are also collecting food for people who need it. So God, through these people, God is still supplying food. So I just wanted to share with you today, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy a little time away from school. This situation will finish, but the important thing is to remember that God is in control. We can trust God. He will sort it out, just as He did for Ruth way long time ago. Stay safe, take care. God bless.